Let's check out the perfect gift for any Warhammer 40k fan. Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com. And in this video, we're gonna take a closer look at, well, I guess the first ever Warhammer 40k encyclopedia. The Warhammer 40k Ultimate Guide is for sale right now on Amazon. As a matter of fact, it is a #1 bestseller on Amazon and on sale. It's going for cheaper than I paid for it. I think I paid close to 50 bucks for it, and now it's less than the cost of a Warhammer 40k supplement. And hey, its rules will never go out of date. Boom, there it is. Thank you very much. I'll be here all night. So let's take a look inside the Ultimate Guide that seems to be the perfect gift for any Warhammer 40k fan, or if you're just like, hey, I just want this book to put out on the counter or whatever. There's really no downside to this book, I suppose. So here is the Amazon product page, and you can see that it is a #1 bestseller in Warhammer game. It is on sale right now. I paid $45 for it, but I got Prime, so I don't think I paid any shipping for it. And then here's kind of the breakdown on it. And I think, you know, like they say here, the lavishly illustrated with hundreds of beautiful product shots. I think that definitely says something for it because, you know, as you can see, and I'm about to show you the actual book, the layout is incredible, and you can see miniatures in here that maybe you weren't aware of that existed because there's so many out there in the catalog. So it's kind of like a visual guide, a masterpiece, you know, alongside of the encyclopedia and all these sections in there. So, you know, I think overall this is perfect for new players looking for an introduction to the Warhammer setting. Anybody that just loves the lore in general, like, oh, I just got to have a quick reference on like every faction out there. This is it for you. You know, the rulebook's a little cumbersome and it doesn't have a lot of like pictures as far as like the models themselves. So I could kind of see that. This isn't really about the rules or anything like that, which means it's not going to go out of date per se until the models are eventually legends, but we've got years on that. So here's the book, and I mean, this thing is massive. It's hardcover, and I guess I should have mentioned that there is a digital version you can buy, but I feel like the whole point to it is just to get this and have it on your counter. Now, the spine itself is a little sticky. I don't know what happened there. It didn't really affect it none. I don't know if the glue or the binding or something in here is just a little, it doesn't feel loose when I'm flipping through it, which is good. So I just kind of rolled with it. It's about the size of a codex book, maybe slightly bigger, I suppose. Oh, hey, look at that classic. Look at that little guy right there. Where did he come from? But it's, you know, it's pretty incredible. So like 400 pages, 332. It does have an index in it, which is kind of something for a Games Workshop. So it's quite easy to find what you're looking for. And it does have a scale guide in the back because as you're about to see, all of this stuff, like you're going to see a picture of a Space Marine that's this big. So obviously it's not that big in the model itself. So the scale is a little big. It's a little grandiose, so to speak. So there's Lionel, Ultimate Guide. I mean, it's very well laid out. And then you've got all the sections here, of course. You know, the Forces of Man, Forces of Chaos, the Xenos, the scout reference we just showed you, acknowledgements, index. But I think for a lot of people, what's going to resonate with them is the first like 10 pages or so, because of course there's an introduction, but then it goes into a brief timeline of everything. You know, going back to the Dawn of War video game here. And then, of course, you know, it doesn't really specifically talk about the other video game, which I feel like was kind of something they really should have talked about. But, you know, with Titus, oh, I guess they do right there with the scale. The next section covers the Warhammer hobby itself, you know, shows some sprues and, you know, talks about like the paints and some of the board games in the actual Black Library books. And then it gets into each faction. And then there's an intro for each faction, of course, you know, so you guys use, you know, stuff in there. And then for the Space Marines, well, for all of them, you know, you're going to see a lot of the key units. And like I said, the scale is a bit off, which is okay. I guess it makes sense, you know, for kind of talking about the thing. So they'll give you a lot of like the key locations and the key squads and makeups. It's not going to get like super into the lore. Like it's not going to be like the Ultramarines and like all the things about it, but they're going to talk about like Space Marines in general. and kind of give you an idea. But you know, more so, it's like an encyclopedia or a visual guide of sorts to each faction, which is just, it's just really cool. I mean, it's just a cool thing to have hanging out, and you can, like I said, maybe see things that you weren't aware existed. And then, you know, I do like the little section in here on the miniatures through time, because you kind of see how certain things evolved going forward. And it's just overall a really cool book that I think any fan of 40k would love to have. So definitely makes a good gift, good thing to ask for like birthdays, or and there's another clutch miniatures through time section, right? Just for reference and stuff. Like I've used it a couple of times already for website posts, and I just think it's just a really neat kind of deep dive into the whole lore and backstory. So the pros, it's a really cool catalog and gives you a really good smattering of the lore. And I really feel like the only cons here is, at least for me, is the scale is a little wonky. Me knowing with my big visual brain how big this stuff is compared to other stuff, it doesn't quite make sense to me. So I mean, that's just like a, you know, suspension of disbelief, or suspension of belief, whatever you want to call it, whatever the term is. But I don't know. I don't feel like it's a deal breaker. It's just kind of being a little nitpicky at that point. And like I said, it's a pretty high quality book, and it's not, it just makes, I don't know, the glue is just a little, or maybe it's the way the binding is, but I don't feel like it's going to come apart on me, which is nice. So I feel like it's a good quality book. And I mean, for like 25, 30 bucks or whatever it is now, it's less than the cost of a 40k codex, and it'll definitely last or give you a lot more use out of it over your hobby career than I feel like a rules book will. That was a lot of talking. So really cool book, like I said, and it's quite hefty too. So it's no slouch, you know. It's very noticeable when it is in your hand, and it smells of rich mahogany and leather for sure. Even though I can't smell it, but that's besides the point. So that's it for this one. Please let me know in the comments what your favorite, I guess, Warhammer, like, I don't want to say lore book, but like reference material is. Like, how do you consume your lore? Do you like quick references like this? Do you like watching videos on YouTube? Do you like, you know, reading wikis and things like that? Or do you like to buy all the codexes as they come out and read through them all, so you know everything and cutting edge, all the little snippets of lore? That would be interesting to find out where everybody's at on that one. So leave it in the comments below on that. Thanks for watching. Supporting us is super easy. Just click on the article links provided, subscribe, or follow us right here. And remember, next time you're searching for the best Warhammer news, type Spiky Bits into Google to get the most accurate info. See you in the next one.